Hey, we'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Isotope, makers of software and plugins for audio repair, mixing, and mastering. We use Isotope products here at the High Gain. It's an important part of how we've been able to bottle pure podcast gold week after week. And guess what? Isotope offers 1 free month of Music Production Suite Pro, which has all the tools you need to mix, master, and repair audio. Also, you can get 10% off all other software using the promo code FRET10. That's FRET10. All of this is at isotope.com, IZOTOPE.com.
Hey, this is Ed Peterson.
And this is John Kiltica, Ed.
John, it's the High Game Podcast.
Yes, and we're melting.
It is 100 plus today here in beautiful West Seattle.
I think so. Even higher in Portland.
The Pacific Northwest is on fire.
Yeah.
On fire.
We are baking under a dome of our own sins.
Yeah. Do you know about Fermi's paradox, John?
The little small furry dolls that you can get?
Right. The Fermi paradox.
Right.
There's so many stars in the universe.
Uh-huh.
It should be teeming with life, and yet we find no evidence of that.
Yes.
Why are we not just bumping into alien intelligent life?
Yes.
As a civilization gets far enough advanced, it just burns itself out. They do something, and you hit a point that you just kill all life on that planet.
Yeah.
Right. We're living it. Ronald Reagan, the first thing he did when he took the White House was pulled the solar panels off the White House.
Yep.
Get rid of this fucking environmental bullshit, drill up some oil and burn it. I don't want to blame the extinction of the entire human race on one person.
Right.
But it's Ronald Reagan's fault.
I leaned over to turn off the fan and accidentally got within range of the theremin.
Why is there a theremin set up in this house?
Why is there not a theremin set up in yours?
The local rock group down the street is trying hard to learn their song. Serenade the weekend squire who just came out to mow his lawn. Another Pleasant Valley Sunday. Charcoal burning everywhere. Rows of houses that are all the same, and no one seems to care.
Beverages.
Beverages, Ed.
No idea.
No idea?
I mean, it's totally like, I know I should know this.
In the future times,
Sure.
I'm sure everybody's going to get that.
Right.
In the
Right.
here and now, as we record this and I butcher it, I could see why it's a little more difficult.
What did you say? Pleasant something Sunday? What's that lyric?
Pleasant Valley Sunday.
Yeah.
It's the Monkees. And Pleasant Valley Sunday is the name of that song.
Huh. Okay.
It's from the album Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones Limited,
That is a great name.
1967.
Hippie vibes.
Yep.
Let the monkeys take over energy policy.
Another Pleasant Valley Sunday, charcoal burning everywhere.
Yes.
Yep.
It's hot, John. It's put me in a very fucking cranky mood.
Well, you're not going to be happy that Davy Jones left the building then.
Oh, no. Is he the only one? Do we have the rest of them?
Sure. Oh,
Oh,
Peter Tork has also left the building.
that's a bummer. Which one is the one with the mom with whiteout?
Michael Nesmith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a,
Wait a minute. Not a juice?
Is it too hot to crank up the juice machine?
the juicing community.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they would be stoked to know that I have weaponized my juicer.
What?
Yeah, weapon of mass destruction.
What do you mean?
You know, I've been doing ginger just to give it a little punch, right? A little something extra,
Yeah.
right? You got to have that kick in your juice.
The juice kick, yeah.
So this week I throw like a pound of kale, a bunch of carrots, a couple apples, a pear, and then I took 2 full-blown jalapenos and dropped them in just to give it a little hot kick, right? So it's got that sweet, but then boom, right? But the thing I didn't consider, when you do that, you drop them in, it basically aerosols it. It turned my entire kitchen into like a pepper spray factory. But it's delicious. It's sweet with just enough of a kick at the end.
To make you regret it?
I think it's really good. It's just, I have to be careful next time when I drop those things in.
Okay, so what do you have in lieu of that then today?
Non-alcoholic Heineken beer, because I just needed something to cool me down in this 118 degrees.
Does the non-alcoholic Heineken beer have a slogan?
Heineken. Fuck that shit. Pabst Blue Ribbon. That's some Frank Booth.
Yeah. Dennis Hopper.
Oh. And then I got a cup of coffee, black coffee.
Is it cold?
It is hot coffee. You know, what do you do? I got to have my hot coffee.
I've got a hot coffee even though it's 130 out.
Yeah.
Also, I have a Teddy's Ginger Ale. It's old-fashioned style, apparently, so they don't need a slogan.
Oldie times.
Yeah.
Get with it.
This, Ed,
Yeah.
is a Gibson RD Custom.
Yep.
Introduced in 1977. RD, in this case, stands for Research and Development.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. The rest of the world says R&D.
Right.
I guess they prefer to just say RD.
Yeah. It seems short-sighted to call that RD. Did they have no intention to ever do any more RD? It's not the RD1, and then we could have the RD10. This is just the RD. Research and development is done.
We can move on.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's just retreading old ground.
Imagine if a Firebird and an Explorer had a baby.
Kinda. It's more blobby, right? Like it's more curvy than either of them.
Gumby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is in that world, but different.
It is different. So what's the RD part of this? You might be wondering.
Yeah, I am.
I'll give you the rundown here.
Okay.
It's all maple, maple neck, maple body, in this case, maple fretboard,
Yeah.
bound with pearloid inlays.
Yep.
It has 2 humbucker V6s in it. They had to be developed specifically for this guitar. This is an active guitar. Right now, my 2 volumes are in the middle.
Yeah.
When they're in the middle, at 5, you're essentially looking at regular old humbucker land. Move either of them, or both of them, past 5, it kicks in the preamp.
Sure.
The activeness. Here's before. I'm going to just turn these up to 10. A little hotter, huh? Pretty hot. Your tone controls, master, treble, and bass.
Oh, interesting.
They work as boost and cut.
Okay.
Instead of a knob that goes from 0 to 10, the 0 is in the middle.
Yep.
And you can go to +5 or -5.
Yep.
There's some more bass boost. There's some more treble boost.
Treble up, bass down.
Treble up, bass down. Funny you should ask for that, Ed.
Yeah.
I might as well put it on the back pickup.
Sure. Yeah, that's pretty trebly.
But wait, there's more.
Okay.
There's this additional switch.
Yeah.
It's a bright switch. You think this is bright. Let's put the bright switch on.
It's too much, John. Too much.
I don't think Gibson thought it was too much.
No?
Explaining what that bright switch does to your tone, they say it, quote, provides a very bright, sassy signal.
Sure.
What do you think? Does that add sass to my signal?
It's pretty sassy.
You know what it struck me as?
Huh.
Shellac.
Throw a fuzz on for that shellac.
That is my latest fuzz, by the way.
Tell me about it.
That is called the Summoner Fuzz.
Okay.
It summons things.
Sure.
Made by our good friend Ernie over there at Wire Instruments.
Ernie Bailey.
Yes, it's a heavy gated, high gain fuzz.
Pretty fuzzy. Play a little more like low E riff kind of thing. This guitar, that pedal combo,
Yeah?
pretty good.
That was in the bright mode. Should we take it back to regular town?
Unbrightify it and put a little more beef on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really like this pedal.
A thing that occurs to me with that guitar, John,
Yes.
it's called a custom, and it's actually
Yes.
pretty darn plain Jane looking. You know, there's no body binding, pretty minimal pick guard.
Visually, yeah, you're probably right. There's not much to recommend it in terms of style.
Yeah,
It's under the hood where the custom happens.
yeah.
They began working on this thing in about 1975.
Okay.
Norland territory, where Gibson is stinking the joint up with their bullshit.
I am probably a Norland apologist.
You love them?
I think some of the most reviled stuff from that era is stuff I really love. I think the Sonics is cool.
Yeah.
I think the Paul is really cool. I think a lot of the stuff that Norland did is great.
I would play this one in a heartbeat.
It's rad.
But going under the hood,
Yeah,
this was the first active guitar, this RD, that Gibson ever made.
sure.
And to get the circuit designed right, they needed somebody who knew what they were doing. Who'd they get, Ed?
You're going to say the name and I'm going to go, oh, right.
Well, in 1971, Norland purchased Moog.
Bob? Did they have Bob do it?
They had Bob do it.
That thing is rad.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
This particular one is a Thera Mini that allows you to even tune it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really fun.
It's got like a whole effects bank built into it.
There's an app, too,
Yeah.
made by Moog Music.
Yep.
Okay, so there's Bob Moog at Norland in 71 designing circuits for guitars.
He's on the payroll.
Yeah, and he has said that when he left, which was in 1977, the only reason he stayed as long as he did was because he had to wait 4 years for his stock to vest.
Good for him.
Good for our man Bob.
Yeah. How's he doing these days?
Bob Moog?
Yeah. I thought so.
Yeah, we lost him in 2005.
Yeah.
So he designed the bright circuit in here and the active electronics.
Yeah.
There are 3 levels.
Okay.
Standard is just a passive guitar.
Oh, there is an RD standard.
Yeah, it's just regular old 2 pickups. There you go.
Looks exactly like this.
Yes.
Standard, please. I think I'd take the standard.
Yeah. Then this one with the bright switch.
Okay.
And then the artist also had a switch. They called it the trick switch.
Ooh, okay.
Instead of on and off like this bright switch, the trick switch is 3-way.
Okay.
In the middle, that trick switch did nothing.
Sure.
Off.
Yep.
If you flip that switch up towards the neck,
Mm-hmm.
what you would get is compression, only in the neck pickup.
Okay.
If you flipped it back, you would get expansion,
Oh.
only in the bridge pickup. Compression reduces the signal above a certain level. If you have a compressor that you can control, you can tell it, hey, when things get this loud, smush it, push it back down. Whereas expansion works the other way. If it goes below the threshold, pump it back up.
Yeah. I guess I'd have to hear it from the guitar. I'd like to hear how his circuit does that.
Yeah.
I still think I'd take the standard.
Well, you bring up a good point, Ed, because these were not particularly popular.
I think of John Entwistle. He had a bass version of this, right?
He did. They only made 5 models. The standard, the artist, and the custom I've mentioned.
Yep.
And then they made a bass version of both the artist and the standard. There was no bass custom.
And Entwistle played a standard,
Yeah.
both, whatever he wanted.
Yeah, I guess they just backed the truck up to Entwistle's house.
Right. Oh, God. This episode, I don't think we've said a name without hitting them with the dong.
Well, it is hot out. It's probably pushing, what, like 140 now?
Probably. Dunnable makes a guitar that looks a lot like this thing.
If we try a little harder,
Yeah.
unlike our normal selves, to describe this, I guess I would say, first off, it's an offset body. The waist is offset.
Yep.
The top horn is abbreviated in the way that it can look when you just cut it off.
Yep.
And then the bottom horn looks kind of regular. On the treble side, where the controls are, the knobs, looks kind of rounded out normally. And then on the bass side, it just kind of juts out the back like an Explorer, but not as far and not as pointy.
Aesthetically, it's interesting that the bottom is very soft rounded, and then the top is rounded but more pointy. Even the shapes are different. Almost like they couldn't settle on, do we want this thing to be kind of like Les Paul-y rounded or Explorer? Why don't we just do both?
Not only was it not successful, not only did Bob Moog split the building in 77, he was done with it. In 79, they discontinued this whole nonsense. While musicians were telling them, we don't need all that shit. We don't need the active. We don't need to switch stuff. Gibson remained convinced that it was the shape of the guitar that was the downfall. Let's put the RD stuff in Les Pauls and ES bodies. It'll be great. Yeah, it wasn't.
No.
Nobody wanted that either, and that kind of quietly went away about 1981. That was the end of that. They made a couple of stabs at reissuing this thing over the years. I think Dave Grohl played one briefly.
I think it's got that thing where it's cool because it's rare. It's that Norlin era thing of like, oh, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah. Another thing about this,
Yeah.
it goes way up there in the fretage.
Yeah.
I'll put on the bright switch and play the highest fret. I know Ed likes that. Whew!
Yeah, I picked it up, and the first thing I commented on was the neck, because it's super thin, and the scale length is weird. And I'm not the most discerning, like I'll just pick up a baseball bat neck or a standard kind of normal modern shape, and
Right.
none of them really weird me out. This one's way thin for a Gibson.
It is. The normal scale length on Gibsons is in the neighborhood of 24 3/4.
Yep.
This one is 25 1/2.
Yeah.
It is longer. It feels longer.
Yep.
I think with the longer scale length, maybe the reason for cutting out the waist in this way is to make it sit more comfortably.
Absolutely. I picked the neck up and just immediately went, oh, something's weird with this.
It's pretty comfortable to play. It sits and balances nicely.
Yep.
Let's kick in the active. We'll put on Ernie's pedal again,
Yep.
the Summoner fuzz. That's respectable. And then, of course, if you feel like stacking your
Sure.
fuzzes. That's me accompanying myself on theremin.
That is pretty great. That's a lot of pedals you were just clicking on and off there.
The awesome doesn't make itself, Ed.
No, absolutely not.
What am I going to do? Rely on my own skill? That's not going to happen. You might be wondering at this point, Ed,
Yeah.
what became of Bob?
Made some theremins, made some cool-ass keyboards.
Well, we know him as the kind of inventor of the Moog synthesizer,
Yep.
of course, but why the theremin? It turns out the theremin was his first love as a kid and remained dear to his heart throughout his life. He built his first one when he was 14 in 1949. There were plans in a magazine, and he built a theremin.
Yeah.
And here's how smart this kid was. He built it, played it, loved it, and decided, I think I can do it better. He designed his own
Yeah.
and started selling kits. If you want to make my theremin, maybe you want to buy my kit.
Yeah.
And that started the R.A. Moog Company in 1954. He was about 19.
That's awesome. Did he end up going to like engineering?
He did, yeah. He ended up going to Columbia and finally got a PhD from Cornell in engineering physics.
Oh, Jesus.
Very smart guy. And the reason he wanted to do synthesizers is because at that point in the 60s, a synth would take up an entire room.
Right.
He was convinced he could design something that would be more portable.
Right.
And when he first did it, it was a smash hit. Wouldn't take long for the musicians to figure it out.
So he was doing a lot of the synth stuff in the 60s, right?
Uh-huh.
So what the hell was he doing at Gibson in 75? They just locked him down with golden handcuffs for 4 years.
Yeah.
Wild.
The first commercial recording that had a Moog on it
Yeah.
was by the Monkees.
Oh my God, John. Look at you. Look at you.
It's widely considered to be the first.
Huh.
That album, 1967, Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones Limited,
Yeah.
considered to be the first album that had a Moog synthesizer on it.
And the guitar you're playing also has Moog designs in it.
Yes,
Pulling it all together.
all together.
I love it.
So when Bob splits, he moves to Asheville, North Carolina, and he starts what's called Big Briar, because Gibson owns the rights to the name Moog. He can't do anything about that,
Right.
but just wait it out. And he actually did that. 2002, he bought the rights to the name back.
Huh.
Stayed in Asheville, and that's where Moog music is to this day in Asheville, North Carolina. That's where this theremin instrument comes from.
Not made in the U.S.
Made in the U.S. in Asheville, North Carolina.
No kidding? That
yeah,
thing?
Yeah.
Weird. That is very surprising. Right here, I'm looking at the box.
What's it say?
The box says, Moog Theremin,
Uh-huh.
designed and assembled by hand in Asheville, North Carolina, United States of America.
There you go.
Yeah, okay. It's also interesting because these things are not very expensive. So it's a hand-built in the USA theremin with a lot of cool, like, app integration stuff, stereo out.
Yeah. And they've made it so that it's easy to succeed. I have it set basically to a blues scale.
Yeah,
I can wave my hand around and it's going to land somewhere.
right. So do you set it to a key?
Yeah. Blues scale in E.
You're hitting all the right notes. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I'm such a great thereminist. Thereminist.
Yeah. I imagine if you didn't have that, it would be...
It would be frustrating, probably. This is a lot of fun. Okay. I'm back in not bright mode. Neck pickup. Bridge.
How about this guitar, John? Are you ready for our newish thing?
Buy or deny.
Yeah, what do you think?
I call this a buy.
Yeah. Like I said, I just have that weirdo soft spot, and this one's, man, verging on a hard buy. Putting effects into guitars, I just don't want one more thing to deal with. So I would prefer a standard version of this, but just from the weirdo Norland looks,
The RD model, full stop, yes.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I would take an artist or a custom, but I think if I had the three lined up in front of me, and I think the standard is by far the cheapest, I would take the standard.
Right. So it sounds, viewers, like what we're saying is it's a buy
Yeah,
on the RD.
yeah.
As for what flavor, make up your own mind.
Make up your own mind, but standard is the correct answer.
Yeah.
It sounds great. It sounds really great.
It does. Go online,
Yeah.
look it up, look on Reverb or your guitar photo site of choice. See what you think. We borrowed this from Cousin Will down at Thunder Road Guitars in Portland.
Uncle Frank and Cousin Will.
Yeah. Uncle Frank is up here in West Seattle.
Yep.
Cousin Will's down there in PDX.
Yeah.
So yeah, check it out. And when you're done with that, stay cool,
Right.
hydrate,
Yes.
maybe go into an air-conditioned room and fire up the internet box
Right.
and go to thehighgain.com.
Yep.
Look at some pictures,
Sure.
listen to some episodes you might not have caught already.
Just on the off chance there's some.
Yeah.
Or re-listen. We don't care. Listen again.
Leave a review on iTunes. We like that.
Oh, we love it.
You can look at pictures on Instagram.
Yep. Then hit up Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Look up Ronald Reagan and his environmental policies and why he killed us all.
It's not Ed's fault. That's the takeaway.
Yeah. Have a great day, John.
Yeah, you too, Ed.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye.